Hello to all of my SOC 495 classmates. Thank you for checking out my presentation. This semester I did my internship at the Boys and Girls Club of San Marcos, located at One Positive Place. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Boys and Girls Club, it is a non-profit organization that seeks to provide kids a safe place to learn and grow, as well as provide them with strong relationships with caring adult professionals and life-enhancing programs and character development experiences. The mission statement of the Boys and Girls Club states, "To enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens." For more than a century, the Boys and Girls Club has helped put young people on the path to great futures. Here are some facts about the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. These can be found directly on their main website. Boys and Girls Clubs of America annually serve around 4 million kids, ages 6 to 18, through membership and community outreach. There are nearly 4,000 club facilities throughout the country. There are 22 clubs in San Diego County. Club programs and services promote and enhance the development of boys and girls by instilling a sense of competence, usefulness, belonging, and influence. Kids who attend the club come from many different backgrounds, but a good portion of them come from low or middle income families. Also, many of them come from single-parent households, as well as families that have criminal backgrounds. Because it is a non-profit organization, no fee is required to join the Boys and Girls Club in San Marcos. No child has ever been turned away from the club that has wanted to join. According to the Boys and Girls Club website, almost half of the overall population of the club, 43%, are children ages 6 to 10, whereas just under 40% are anywhere between 11 and 15 years of age. That leaves only a small percentage, 12%, that are 16 to 18. At the San Marcos Club, these percentages are pretty accurate in the sense that the teen center where I work is far less populated than the junior center. There are, on average, about 40 to 50 teens that come into the teen center every day, whereas there are closer to 200 preteens that hang out on the other side of the building. At the Boys and Girls Club in San Marcos, there's the teen center where I work and the junior center on the opposite side of the building, where all of the younger kids hang out and play. There is a larger staff for the junior center, as the younger kids obviously require more attention than the teens. This isn't to say that the teens don't get enough attention, but with 150 to 200 little kids running around as compared to 40 teenagers, it all evens itself out. There are 4 main supervisors in the teen center. Mr. Ben is the head teen services director. He's the one who leads all of the meetings and sets up field trips and fundraisers. Miss Aline is the program coordinator, so she's in charge of setting up programs like College and Career Bound, Money Matters, Guy Talk and Girl Talk, and so on. Miss Vanessa is in charge of the mentor program, so she's my immediate supervisor. Miss Carmen is the fourth supervisor and she works at the front desk, and she's in charge of making sure kids sign in and sign out, as well as she takes calls and deals with parents who come in to pick their kids up. There are also numerous volunteers and some other mentors that I've seen at the club throughout the semester. It seems like most of them are college students who are either volunteering to fulfill internship hours for school, or they're just there simply because they want to volunteer. Altogether, the Boys and Girls Club has a great staff. I work closest with Vanessa because she's in charge of the mentor program. While I am a volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club, my main title is a mentor. This means that I am responsible for meeting up with a specific teen for at least an hour each week, where we can talk about anything from school and hobbies to more serious things like personal problems or issues at home. I've gotten to work with a few different mentees throughout my time as a mentor. Vanessa has always told me from the beginning that it's important to always stay supportive of the kids, even if they're wrong or acting out in a way they shouldn't be. The whole idea of the Boys and Girls Club is to provide kids a safe place to come after school, where there are educational and encouraging programs as well as caring and supportive staff members. In the reading, Rachel and Her Children by Jonathan Kozel, we see Rachel, who would give up so much to just see her kids have a fair chance at success, and I'm reminded of this kind of attitude at the Boys and Girls Club. Rachel is right when she says that her kids are smart and that they just need to be given a chance. All kids have potential to grow and learn and be successful if given the right tools and support that they need. The Boys and Girls Club does its best to give those tools to kids so they can reach their full potential and have successful futures. While I'm supposed to spend at least 1 hour of one-on-one time with my assigned mentee each week, I usually end up seeing my mentee whenever I go over to the club, and that means we spend a lot more than just 1 hour hanging out. My latest mentee, who I've been working with for the past month or so, is a funny kid named Chris who loves playing video games and telling kids that he's 21. He also looks up to his older sister who's in the Navy, and he loves to brag about how awesome she is. The two of us spend a lot of time hanging out with his friends at the club and playing games like Tony Hawk Pro Skater or Rush on the N64, with the occasional game of pool or chess. The rest of the time I'm at the club, I usually find myself sitting in on various programs that the club offers to the kids, helping with homework during power hour, or shooting hoops with other kids. The programs that the club offers, like College and Career Bound for example, helps ensure that teens are meeting academic, financial, and testing requirements for UCs and Cal States, while also preparing them for SATs. Money Matters is another popular program, and it helps teens to gain useful knowledge and skills on various aspects of financial literacy, including budgeting, saving and investing, credit and debt, as well as planning for college. The club can afford these types of programs, as well as field trips to take kids on college tours, because of donations and fundraisers. The best part is that the kids don't have to pay a dime. The club actually just had their biggest annual fundraiser last weekend, an auction that always brings in thousands of dollars. Being a role model for these teens is important because when kids know that someone believes in them, it makes them believe in themselves. The entire staff at the Boys and Girls Club is a bunch of people that are all there to be positive influences and role models, whether they're paid employees or just volunteers who are tutors or mentors. Many of the clients come from families that have had troubled pasts. I've talked to some kids there who have siblings in prison, and some that live with aunts and uncles because their parents were abusive or had drug-related offenses. In many cases, these kids don't have older people in their lives that support them or urge them to do their best, so the staff at the club is sure to be there for them whenever possible. Also, the club is located in an area where gangs are prevalent. When I did my interview assignment, I chose to interview my main supervisor, Vanessa, and I asked her what she thought the main goal of the club was. She told me that the main goal is to keep kids off the street, to address the issue of gangs and to keep kids away from that life. Recently, one of the Youth of the Year finalists gave a practice speech to all of his peers at the club. His speech started off with a crazy story about him getting woken up by police officers storming into his house and how he saw his older brother getting arrested. His mom was later deported and his brother ended up in prison, leaving just him to go and live with his dad. He talked about living out of a car for a year when he was in 8th grade, and he talked about being afraid to start attending San Marcos High because many of the kids who went there were associated with his brother's gang. He said that if it wasn't for meeting Ben Ramirez, the head supervisor at the teen center, he would have gone down the same path that his brother did. But instead, he ended up at the Boys and Girls Club and found a sense of belonging and got the support he needed to be successful in school. The club probably saved his life, and now he'll be the first person in his family to ever graduate high school and go to college. Kids who are in situations where they need some extra attention at school or at home really just need that sense of belonging. They feel that there's no hope for themselves, so they seek it out at all costs, and sometimes this means finding it in a gang. This relates to Stephen's reading, Saving Our Children, when he talks about how lack of faith leads kids down a path where they're oblivious to laws and feel that they only need to live for today. At the Boys and Girls Club, kids get the extra attention and support they need so they won't feel the need to search for it elsewhere. Not only that, but the club gives them a place to go where they can have fun with friends while also getting help and support from the staff. I really enjoyed my experience as a mentor at the Boys and Girls Club in San Marcos. After spending time with the kids and learning about the organization, it's obvious to me that the club really helps improve lives and gets kids heading in the right direction towards successful futures. I've been told by a few of the kids that the time I spend with them means a lot and they look forward to the days I go to the club. It feels great knowing that I've had even a small impact on their lives in some way. I've even decided to continue volunteering at the club after I graduate. These are all great kids, and I think it's important that, as a society, we aren't as quick to write them off in the future. All kids have potential to learn and grow into successful adults. We just have to give them a chance.